Introducing the legend himself, non-profit prophet. The epitome representation of a citizen nation. Words encapsulate the many problems which we are facing. The engineer to the designer, the flame of the fire that forms a platform for citizens that elevate higher. The sound of the trumpet, warning war has begun between the rebel aliens and the ignorant ones. Bringing my fellow citizens to the plane that I'm from. Cause ignorance will leave your brain dead, same as a slug. A straight shooter focused like a laser, same as my gun. The epitome and summary of all the above. Bridging gaps like overpasses, hence I'm bridging the masses. Breaking barriers and walls and flipping ball when it smashes. I'm a general, a captain, a lieutenant, and leader. Since following examples of my citizens senior. The pillars of wisdom, my professors and teachers. All citizens studious to progressive procedure. Now I carry the torch, now prophet, and preacher. Gatekeeper to the kingdom, ever told me St. Peter. Liberian savior, Luciferian Jesus. With the power to convert you by the end of this thesis. Keep the words of the written in a reflective condition. Free your mind from any sense of interjecting suspicion. Keep your logic and reasoning, common sense and your wisdom. The only tools you need to have when your adventure begins. Pay attention, citizens, to the words that I'm speaking. Every Sunday at 4 o'clock, it's real talk on Vendetti's block.
Dope. Yo.
All right, welcome to Vendetti's block. I'm Joker Vendetti. Got my co-host Steve Lindzy.
How are you, Joker? Good to see you, man. Yeah.
We're well, fill people in who don't know what you do and what you're about, and the stuff you do in the community, and how Steve Lindzy gets down. What's Steve do?
Well, Steve gets down like this. All right. I have a private practice called Midwest Life Center. That's on 619 South 20th Street in Omaha, Nebraska. And I help people deal with stress, anxiety, depression, just normal issues, life coach, and a therapist. I'm a DJ, and I do that 6, sometimes 7 nights a week, along with that day job. And then I also have a children's show called the Royal Pirates of Tortuga. And we have an adult show. And I'm going to go ahead and let this one out. We're sponsored by Captain Morgan and Coors Light. And Captain. Then also, and we have a children's show, and that's definitely completely away from the alcohol. It's the other way around. And we do a puzzle, and that's like on the 5 dynamics of life, which would be self, family, groups, mankind, and animals. Yeah. And that's what we do, Joker.
I like animals.
I do too. And I think I had you turned down the whole time, man. You're back up, though. You're on.
Oh, it's turned down?
Yeah, it was turned down, man. That's my fault. That's a technical.
Am I turned up and turned on?
You are. Buddy.
Turn on everybody out there with my sexy voice.
Mm-hmm.
How's everybody doing?
I'm sorry, Joker. That was my fault.
Oh, we're good. We got my boy Bird in the building at E.O.M.
What's good?
Bird, what's happening, man? Good to see you again.
Oh, thank you. It's good to see you, too.
Right on,
you know,
man.
both of you guys,
Yeah.
good to be here.
Bird, your back's doing better now.
Yes, it is. I'm functioning.
That's what we want.
That's what we need. We need you to function.
We need to function.
Yes, sir.
Functionality. All right, well, today we're going to be bringing it back to last week. We talked about the conflict dynamic, and we talked a lot about inner conflict and self-conflict, and, but especially in spite of the way this week went, man, we need to talk about
Resolution.
Exactly,
man. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't. Like I always say, I don't always practice what I preach. I'm a human being. I'm emotional. I make mistakes. I didn't take it too far where it was like an actual physical combat, but I was there. I was irritated. The guy disrespected, my bro's dad. It was like, to me, that's grounds for like getting punched in the face. I mean, you don't really condone punching people in the face, but I mean, there's, I don't know. You know me, Steve. I mean, I'm just,
Went reactive on him. He said something, now I got to blast him.
I'm going to react to you.
Yep. That's called the overt motivator sequence, if we get technical on it.
I tried to talk to the guy, but remember we talked about ignorance.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
I'm totally intolerable when it comes to ignorance. I mean, I have zero patience for it. If you're an ignorant person and I'm trying to talk to you and you're not being receptive at all, I'm like, what is there left? If you still got a problem, then, we just go back to caveman time and start beating each other's face in,
And that gets nowhere, man. It'd be great to educate the guy that was ignorant.
Right.
It would be great. But when they're ignorant on education, you're sort of stuck.
Well, it's like it was a conflict of lifestyles.
All right.
You know, and he was around people that aren't exactly rolling with his lifestyle, but being really flamboyant. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it was just like, and then he did something disrespectful. It was like, you know, he was making people uncomfortable. So
what did he do?
Okay.
Bust it out.
I'm just gonna put it out there.
Yeah.
Like, I got gay friends.
All right.
And I don't have any problem with anybody's sexual preference.
And they're funny. I got some funny gay friends, man. They're awesome.
Now, the like the really flaming type, like it's like more girly than a girl. Mm-hmm. I'm not that comfortable because I mean it's like I can't relate to you really. I mean I'll talk to you if you want to talk, but it's like I don't want your flamboyancy all up in my grill. Mm-hmm. You know, that's what you do. That's cool, but I don't want to see you pop in and the stuff chicks do. You know, at my boys' crib, we're trying to celebrate. You know, it's like that's not cool. It's just not. Okay. I mean, it's. I don't know. You have to be aware who you're around, and if you're, it's just like me. If I'm at, you know, I've been at meetings, you know, functions, benefits. Mm-hmm. It's generally respectable people. Like they're business people there. And I'm not in there like, yo, what's up, dog?
Right.
Yeah, it's all good. You know what I mean? It's not. You know, it's professionalism.
Absolutely.
On a personal sense.
For
though.
sure it is.
And respecting
man.
that people, you know, don't necessarily, while they don't, you know, are a part of that type of life that you have to respect theirs too. And you don't, you know, nobody should have to, you know, be around something that makes them uncomfortable.
Right, and there are social manners out there.
Right, exactly, social manners. And the dude had none. It's like, come on, man. It's like, come on, dude.
Right.
But, I mean, it seemed like when it got to that point and he had got so disrespectful, it was, you know, in that, I think that's that mentality from the hood. It's like, something's got to be done.
Right.
Something's got to be, this guy, you know, violated and he must be punished. It's like, I mean, it's just, it is hard to get that out of your head whenever, you know, and I mean, I jabbed it, but I instantly regretted it when I did it. And I was like,
oh, you took a jab at it?
I took a jab at it.
All right.
Verbally or physically?
Physically.
Okay.
But
you went to fisticuffs this weekend, Joker, is what you're saying.
It was the fact that he kept talking, then he started getting on the gang, like he's apparently a gangbanger too, and I'm like, okay. Right. We're not going there, but I mean, but it's like,
I'm gonna hate to say it, but never mind on the gangbang. I'm just gonna leave that alone for right now. It's because never mind. It could have went either way.
It was silly. It was silly on the way. I felt my space was
sorry,
being
guys. That was bad. That was over the top there.
Assert himself in a because I don't care if I get into it with somebody and they're like on my hood and I'm like, I don't care about your hood.
Right.
I don't know who's from your hood. I don't even know who your hood is. So why would I care about it?
Right, and you're granting them beingness. It's like I'll go, okay, you're gay, fine, okay, cool.
Right.
You know, but then when they keep coming with it like that and really trying to insert themselves, okay, I got that you're gay. You don't have to really put that in my face like that. But I do understand that you're gay, and it's cool. Right. To each their own.
Yeah. I mean, could it have been handled a better way? Because you know these days, the whole fist fighting thing ain't working.
Oh, it's not.
No,
amen, Bird. You know that, baby.
Ain't nobody trying to fight.
You know how many fist fights I've seen this week? Not including that wasn't a fist fight. That was just altercation.
That was just a jab.
I've
left
seen
jab.
Fights. Let me see. Wednesday. Then there was. My cousin told me there was a fight on this show. On you know that was. It's like people. And I was pissed off the whole week because I'm like, damn, didn't I just do a show on the conflict dynamic? We talked about conflict, and and I'm like, man, some people need to tune in. Yeah, and then I fell victim to my own criticism,
right?
You know, but like I'm saying, it's like
you feel like a hypocrite,
yeah,
right?
And it's like we're all here, but I roll with a conscience now, like where it's like my consciousness is like, okay. Whatever I do now is going to be scrutinized more because I'm doing this show and it's the subject matter.
Right.
Well, not if you go back, you know, to that whoever that person was and the squash it.
Oh, well, see, I don't have a standing issue with the dude. If I see him again, you know, if he I don't look at him as an enemy.
Right.
People that I get in, Genius is killing me. You know we're live, player. But it's, I don't know, if I'm doing something and at the same time I do something that conflicts with what I'm doing, that's, I mean, sometimes you're not a hypocrite, but you're just you know,
You're more aware of what's going on. So
Yeah.
when you, yeah, absolutely, for sure.
I mean, if I, okay, let's say I pounded the dude, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would have woke up this morning and I would have been like, damn. It's like, I didn't even have to beat that dude up. I've done that before. I've gotten in this, and I'm like, I didn't even have to do that. It's like, you didn't even have to go. It's like, I was dragging it out.
Right. Hurts your
Like, I was
conscience.
really
It's just in your
dragging it out.
conscience.
And it does hurt your conscience, Bird.
We're, you know, we're grown.
Well, not like that. I was
You know?
like feeling like a dick, you know, if, like I said, if you have the power to do something and you abuse it, which is like a big issue with everything, like politicians, they don't do their job because they're too busy abusing their power and getting free health care and all these perks and from lobbyists and everything like that.
Right.
Nobody, you know, so I'm trying to figure out how you, it's not an overnight thing. You just can't change. But it's like, I'm good Vendetti now. Like, I'm all positive all the time. And it's like, I woke up cussing. And I mean, I got problems, but it's not the world's problem. So when I go out into the world, I'm like, okay, the world gets a fresh start every day. Instead of me waking up and I'm pissed off at the road driving around, somebody cuts me off, I'm like, and I hate you too. You know, and you're just pissed off all the
You gotta
time.
find that fine balance.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Well, how do you, like, okay, at Bogies last night, I'm seeing retarded conflict. Like, it's not even over really anything. And it's, you know, and then there's this cat. This is another thing I hate. And I'll put it out there. Like, if I see a white dude, and he might have grew up in the hood. I know a bunch of white dudes that grew up in the hood. I know a bunch of brothers grew up in the hood, but they don't have that, like, ghetto mentality. They don't feel like they got to be thugged out and, you know, use slang all the time and talk without any. I'm like, when I see cats like that, and this dude was dragging it out, and this black dude ended up punching him in the face. I was supposed to be his homeboy, but he was on that nigga word a lot. And after the dude punched him, I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what color you think you are, and I don't even think. See, and that's what the problem is, because, see, other people look at it and it's like, damn, that's really ignorant. And not, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
Yeah,
they're calling
man.
each other the N-word. But then there's like, I see it on Facebook, you know, on posts, and I'm looking at the profile picture, I'm like, that's a white dude? It's like, yeah, my nigga, yeah, I'm that nigga. Like,
And
are
there,
you?
And there we again with social mannerisms again. You know, you don't. I don't use that word. It's like it's just not a cool word to use, man. Especially for a, you know, in a social setting,
Right.
a white man in a black community. He comes in there and starts busting that word out. Good luck.
Right.
Go
And
learn some manners.
I've had white friends that,
You know what I'm
that
saying?
have
You will,
it,
too.
and
You're
it's
gonna learn
like,
quick.
I know that they're not.
You gotta learn it.
You know, being, and so, but I told them straight up, I'm like, if we're out somewhere, black dude comes up, punch you in the mouth, I'm not doing anything. You know, I'm just making you aware of that.
Mhm.
You're not offending me because I know you, but like I saw that dude last night, and he had black homies that were some of them were okay with it, but I guess the one dude, I don't know exactly, but it's like, man, I'm like, is he trying to get punched again? Does he know it? Like, I don't know. It was just the dumbest thing I've ever seen. And then I heard a cat talk. He was like, man, I'm a busted. He's doing. I'm like, damn. Somebody got to get shot over this?
Right.
Like, what?
That's what it's coming to now.
So I'm like, let me stand
And
over
it is,
here.
Bert. It really is coming down to that, you know. And if we can say one thing, man, and I think one word would sum it up, it would be respect.
Right.
Respect for those around him, and most of all, respect for the person themselves.
Yeah.
Right. And when they can get that, then they're going to know, you know, how to speak to another person. Okay, so in that situation where we had the man that was a homosexual, right? Yeah, okay, I respect you being gay. Cool. Now respect me for being straight.
Right.
Exactly.
I mean, oops. I mean, it seems like with that too these days. It's like if you say something or say it's like you can damn near be convicted of a hate crime.
And
it's
you
like,
really could. And Joker, we'll look like this too. Have you ever? And this is the last 2 years where it's happened, and I've seen from 13-year-old kids use it to 65-year-old men. It's the I don't give a
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what they're saying anymore. I don't give a. Okay, and that's the F word at the end if you didn't know. So this is how I'm looking at it too. Okay, so you really don't give an F, right? Okay, cool. Well, can you imagine the people at a workplace, somebody that has to clean food that has that mentality? I don't give a.
Exactly.
Here comes the E. coli. Here comes the staph infections, right? The guy at McDonald's. I don't give a. I just need a job, man. Really? Thank you.
Exactly.
Thank you for not respecting my food, man. And then you would have something like this. The guy comes over to a family function. I don't give a. Come on, man. Well, I do. I care. I mean, that's just me. So.
Well, yeah, when you see the guy, I see it all the time now.
That word,
a group of guys, and they're pumping each other up. They might have gotten into a little bit of argument, and they got it kind of broke up. Mm-hmm. And there you go. I don't give a. I'll blast it. I'm like,
yeah, exactly.
First of all, you're an idiot. Because you just told everybody what you're about to do. So now it's premeditated. Now, if you shoot somebody and they die, that's premeditated murder. Mm-hmm. Guess what? Just because you were wrapped up in emotion and you were a little wasted and you weren't in your right mind, you're not actually in your right mind when you're intoxicated. You're not thinking right.
Oh, absolutely.
You're going off emotional drive and you're like, all right, whoosh, boom. Yeah. And you thought about it because you just said it. You can get the electric chair for that. Over a night at the bar. And and I've seen that kind of stuff happen. Not necessarily people get the electric chair, but go to, it's like you get ready, like no sign of drama or anything. And then the next morning you wake up, one of your friends is in jail, definitely going to prison, and then somebody else is dead. Yeah. And somebody's going to have to bury them. There's going to be a funeral and all that sad stuff that goes along with that. Over a night at the bar because somebody had too much to drink and didn't know how to act and be respectful. And that's exactly what happens. And like you said, it's all about respect. If people had respect
for themselves.
It ties into the what was that, the show you had 2 weeks ago about family?
Yeah.
All that ties in together.
You know?
And what you're learning. I mean, because it's a learned behavior.
Well, yeah. If you teach your kids to be respectful, like my mom taught me to be respectful, so I'm a pretty respectful person. If I meet somebody, I'm polite.
You are. Yeah, you are, Joker.
She used to correct my English whenever, which was so irritating at the time, but I'm glad she did that because even when I'm typing a Facebook post, I correct my punctuation. I'm like a nerd with it. Like I respect language so much because to me it's one of the last things. It's the only things we got. Like if you think about like all the slang and all the like, they cut the words. Sorry's SRY. In like 5 years, we're going to be screwed because we're not going to be able to communicate with each other. Or the younger generation, they're going to be using fragmented words and like just, not anything that we wouldn't understand what they're saying. Like, older generation doesn't understand sometimes what we talk about. Right. It's like we're using slang. Not everybody's as hip as Steve. Like real talk.
Yeah, whatever, man. Just learn, just educate yourself. And that's what I do at Midwest Life Center. I help people look, and then any type of like blocks that they would have from their, from coming up and growing up, we don't want them to have that. We want a well-rounded being to go out there and help the community, and just be a person that can produce in society.
Well, how do you see? This is the problem that when I dug down and we talked about the family, and
Bird was here for that show.
You got parents that don't have a clue. It's like you got to start at the top of the tree and work your way down, or work your way from the roots up. I guess we should say to the branches that are going to be growing. It's like the tree from the roots. It was like, okay, and then the trunk is like, and then it starts getting twisted, and then it's just all gnarly. Then it looks all funky, and now you got funky branches. Right. So, how do we grow healthy branches?
Well,
get the parents to care that they, that I care attitude. There's a lot of I'm looking at.
I see it every day, every night.
That's why I don't like going to Walmart. I'm like, it makes me sad. Just looking at it. And I'm just like, you see the worst it seems like you just see just civilization at its downfall at Walmart.
Yeah.
People in there with pajama pants on. It's like, dude, get dressed.
Joker, and I'm telling you, when I'm seeing this, in the bars, like I said, I've been doing it for 15 years, and you just see the statistic for the bars just because the people are acting like they're acting. They're losing respect for everybody. It's like, guys, stop, have respect, have a great time. I mean, party up, baby, do it. Let's have a good time, let's jam. But everybody be cool, treat the ladies great. Treat other people with respect. Just like we were saying, what was it 2 weeks ago, Bird? That like back in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, everybody wore a suit when they went out. Right? Remember that? Yeah. Well, there's a new Burger King. Let's put a suit on.
Right.
I mean, you're not going to go that extreme, but I mean, that's it. Well, they respected themselves, man.
Well, yeah, and I see if you just go out.
So they cared about themselves.
They don't. Their hair will be done. Kids' hair looks like crap. Clothes are too small. She's got on, designer clothes, and it's just like nails are done.
Right.
Kid looks like crap.
You see it every day.
I'm like, yo. And I don't even know what kind of guy dates a chick like that. Because if I meet a chick, it's like, yeah, she's fine. I'll talk to her.
Right.
But when I get to know her personally, if she's not a good mom, if she's not just like a woman and have like womanly mannerisms, like I got chicks that like burp and and I'm like, damn, excuse you, like don't you like? I say excuse me when I burp, but it's like you got boobs and you're just not acting like it. I'm sorry. Like, come on.
Well, this show's going a completely different direction tonight, baby. I'm with you. That's all. Yeah, you're right. I don't like that either, and it's a matter of respect. Either. It's like, oh, can't believe you just did that.
Well, yeah, and then these kids see their
slamming
their
shots.
mom or
I'm
their
all
dad.
cool.
It could be the dad too. Dad sagging. This is another thing that pisses me off when I see. And I talk to a couple of guys whenever, and it's like, I don't try to cause a conflict because when you see somebody, it kind of specifies a level of ignorance. Because you're an ignorant bastard if you got your kid and you're carrying your kid in one arm and you're holding up your pants with the other, and walking through the mall. I'm like, man, put a gun on full and grab your kid, son. Act like a dad. Be a father.
It's more important at that time,
Yeah.
right?
That's the style, man. I gotta hold my pants up while I hold my kid up.
I'm like, are you kidding me?
Jeremy, hold on. I'm gonna pull my pants up.
You can damn near fit the kid in the pants, probably. Just put him in.
Oh my god!
Pants will probably fit then. I mean,
like a holster.
That right
there
is like the summit of ignorance to me. It's like, dude. And I'm like, so what else?
And we're seeing it. We're seeing it every day, man. Every day. And you're like, it's getting worse.
Worse.
I think
So like I said, it's like I'm in there to change it, man. I mean, I'm only one guy, but I'm in there I'm in there swinging.
But if you're one guy,
yeah.
This is what I preach to my citizens. I'm like, if you're one person, I know I'm only one person. But I'm talking to, if I talk to 10 people, if 3 people are like, if they see the light and they're like, you know what, boom, you know what, and it gives them a direction. I'm cool with that.
Oh, absolutely, for
I'm
sure.
not trying to save the world. Half the world is unsavable. I'd say 80% of the world is unsavable, but I will do whatever I can to reach that other 20.
I think if everybody got educated, they would be just fine. But it's up to them. It's up to them, man.
But I bet if it was something like something new, like something to be like social networking, everybody pay attention to it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
When the next new Twitter, the next new Facebook come out, everybody's gonna pay attention to it. Nobody wants to be educated, and nobody wants to pick up a book.
They don't. Yeah, and I agree. But I love them. I'm a nerd. I love books, man.
And I just got done reading. What was that? David Baldacci, awesome author.
Yeah.
John Grisham. I read all that.
Okay.
Man.
Yeah.
But yeah, and see, those are what people understand. When you read a book, you are learning so much. You're learning. I learned stuff that, intelligent. Even when I was doing I was on the other side of things. Whenever I read a book, I was like, nah, now I'm tactical. It's like I use that stuff. I'm like, I never thought of that.
Right.
That is really smart.
I didn't know I could think like that.
I didn't know
That's
I could
Dave
think
Chappelle.
like that.
Dave Chappelle, right?
I mean, I learned about. I read a book about tort. It was called The King of Torts.
Okay.
I can't remember the author, but that is a book to read. It's about a street. He was pretty much a street lawyer, an ambulance chaser, and this guy comes to him. They call him firemen. These like the pharmaceutical companies when they know they have a bad drug, and they try to find everybody and they have this lump sum of money, and they'll find an attorney they settle for like $500 million. A lawyer get a third of that.
Joker, please don't get me started on pharmaceutical companies, man. Just that. You know what? That should be a whole nother show.
I planned on that
You got
because
I'm there.
That with, I think with the meds and the alcohol, people can't think.
No, they cannot.
They can't think. They can't think for themselves. They can't.
You have walking zombies
Exactly.
that think they know what's going down and going on. It's really okay.
It's okay in their head.
Oh yeah.
But out here, we're looking at him like, look at that guy. Like, there's something funny about him. He just doesn't have the right.
Yeah, this Prozac and this Zymbalta mixed together. This is how it's supposed to be. No, it's not. You're supposed to be your own being.
Right.
Anywho,
And that,
we can save that for another show because I'll go for 2 hours.
and plus fads. I think the fads. I remember back. It was like you sag a little bit.
Right.
Be like, little sag. I'm like, I don't see the functionality of having your pants around your knees.
I think back in the day, coming up, Chris Cross started that. They had the pants on backwards, jump and warm it up, Chris. They started all that way back then. So the Chris brothers. I don't know, man.
I wore my overalls backwards one time. Not gonna lie, I was in junior high and I was.
You guys remember that, man?
Yeah.
Oh,
Chris
man.
Cross doing that.
I had that album.
I think the skinny
Totally
jeans,
crossed out.
That's what gets me. The skinny.
Oh.
What's that?
The skinny jeans. I mean, the leggings and what they call them, jeggings and.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't even.
You guys help me out on this one because I don't know.
It looks crazy and
It's
absolutely.
just not.
You know what?
Ooh.
What's that, Bird? What are
I thought
they?
about.
The tight pants.
That's
like
not real
extra
tight-ass
skinny
pants.
pants.
Okay.
Like
And then they'll be
extra
sagging
skinny.
in those too,
Right.
Ooh.
right?
Yeah.
I'm like,
That's what I was
Oh,
that has to be uncomfortable.
thinking. Man, right? I'm like, hey, your balls must be like this. There ain't no way mine be swinging around there. They got to swing a little bit. Come on
All
now.
right, are you tucking?
Right.
Like,
Well, I
that's
love it. We
crazy.
get off subject like this. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So, ouch. They're skinny jeans.
Yeah.
And they sag
Skinny
those
jeans.
Yes.
too. Ugh.
But it does tie into
It's a fad.
conflict because I've posted stuff on Facebook about that. I'm like, that's like blah blah blah, and that right there. What did you say that was? Whenever you throw something out there like that, it's kind of like it's not a direct insult, but
An invalidation.
right.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if you wear skinny jeans, then like your nuts must be small, right? Okay, and I post that. So the guy that's out there, he's hardcore, and he's like, man, I got big nuts, but you insulted him. So now he's like, I don't like Joker Vendetti because he said he had small nuts. So I'm having a conflict with that guy one day. But to me, I'm coming with intelligence. Like,
Man.
I'm like, make me understand why you do that. Like, I want to understand people.
Yeah, what's
That's
the
it.
mentality of doing that where you got your pants hanging down? If you guys out there on the dance floor and they're dancing and their underwear is showing. And I'm like, dude, why?
Right.
Why? Well, that's the look.
Exactly.
Yuck.
Fads. It's all about fads. If when a fad comes about and people are like, well,
Who started that fad? I mean, who started your underwear hanging out of your pants?
I don't know.
Where did that come from?
I don't know. the new rappers. I
You
don't
need,
know.
you need to look it up, man. Don't Google it because you might get some lying.
I
You
know,
gotta
right?
find out where it came from, man.
Like, oh no, that's where that came from. Well, we all know where it's sagging started coming from in the first place.
And was that prison?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
That's right.
And so go ahead and let that one out of the bag. And so for those of you who don't know about sagging, Mr. Vendetti, go ahead and enlighten them on sagging.
Well, let's see. Before sagging was cool,
Right.
if you were an inmate in a correctional facility in order to let other inmates know that you were homosexual, you would sag your pants as an open invitation for anal sex. So, next time you think about sagging, think about that, because I think about that every time I see one of you guys out there sagging like that, and I'm like, well, drive a truck right in there. No,
Oh, wow.
I'll just joke.
And there's nothing wrong with style. There's nothing wrong with fads, you guys. But and everybody knows the limits and all that. And it's cool, Grant being this to all. But you guys, let's have our society cleaned up so we can do some stuff for the good, man. And you guys, I mean, have fun. We're not. It's not
Right.
about what I'm talking about when I'm trying to help somebody. With their life, I'm not making them a robot. I just want to make them more themselves and more able to produce for society and for the community around them. That's all I'm doing.
Yeah, I mean,
That's all.
and then once you get to that, you can be a teacher, and you can, like, your kids.
You can help others.
And then
That's what's up, man.
It's like, it doesn't stop with just people realizing. I mean, I think everybody has a duty. Like I said in the Family Dynamics show, it's like, if you recognize a problem and you're capable of handling or bringing attention or doing something, if something bothers you, you're like, I have a problem with that.
Yep.
And you know it's going to affect your kids. You know it's going to. You don't do anything. It's like, you're garbage.
Yeah, you would be
Because-
omit if you didn't handle that.
So, people love me today. I just got this phone. I don't know how to shut nothing off, like my notifications.
Right.
Like my ringer's off, but my notification, and I got different sounds for everything. So it's
Well,
like,
are we?
right.
And I don't know how we're getting them today because we sort of went off into a different path today. But were you getting questions about the show?
No. That's why I'm looking at
No, I'm
like
not. Definitely not.
it's not having anything to do with this. So please quit messaging me. Like, well, actually, some of it is, but we have a guest that's coming, and they're having trouble finding. They don't have the address.
Oh, I see.
That could be a problem sometimes.
That can be a
locate
problem.
stuff, and you don't have the address. So,
Right.
Yeah.
You don't have the pertinent data. You need it.
Yes. Pertinent data.
Pertinent data.
Pertinent data.
We need to get back to this
Yeah.
conflict issue. But
I want to touch on, like, a little bit on religion and the conflicts that creates.
Oh, yeah.
Because I went to a funeral yesterday for my boy's mom. Rest in peace, Mama Jane. She was the bomb. She was a really good lady. And this is when you're at a funeral, you get sad because you're not going to see the person again. I don't believe I'm going to see somebody in heaven. But I'm cool with that if I'm okay with them here. I regret that I let some other conflict come in between, like, seeing her more often than what I did, or the frequency, whatever. But you can't change that. But some conflict was resolved, behind that incident. So it's like, I feel like if, she knows that it's all good, and we know it, so we're good in our heart, whatever like that. But I don't think people want to die and then know that their life wasn't really, relevant.
Mm-hmm.
If you just leading a path of ignorance and you don't, I think that's one of my biggest fears, is leaving here without any kind of legacy that's going to help.
Any kind of impact that you didn't help the planet on the way out.
Right.
Yeah.
Instead of more damage. Because I know what kind of damage I did. Now I'm like, oh, crap.
Right, trying to switch it out.
And actually, it was like this week, I feel like I came to, like, at least I balanced it, So I used to have, in your heart, you have hate for people, and you're like, I don't like that, and you think for sure you're gonna feel like that forever, but then you just like let some stuff go. And I know if I could let some of this stuff go, some of these cats are out here beefing over, like, girlfriends and this stupidity.
It's completely
it's irrelevant. It's like, in 20 years, I guarantee you, none of it's gonna matter.
It's not. What it is just reactive aberration, man. The guy goes into his bank. Remember we were talking about the reactive bank, the unconscious mind, subconscious, whatever you want to call it. All right, now let's pump some alcohol on top of that. Now let's pump some Prozac, Cymbalta, let's pump some Klonopin over that. You know, good luck, baby.
Cymbalta can help.
Yeah. Yeah, on your way out as you're done. Yeah, as the sun's coming up and you're done. Yeah, whatever. That's not even. Yeah. But it's okay. So the conflict religion. I mean, what you were talking about your aunt passing away? Or
Oh no, it was she was like she was a mother figure.
Okay.
But you know, I wasted a lot of time like not resolving conflicts, and it was a quote I put on Facebook, a Joker Vendetti quote I just kind of made up because you know, it's like the risks we create in life, you know, people fall through those cracks, and we don't really realize it until, you know, like when she passed, and I was just like, damn. And then when I'm at the funeral, I'm like, I used to, you know, talk to all these people all the time, and it just stopped, you know, because of one conflict I had in my life. So I robbed myself and everybody else of time because I had this inner conflict that, you know, to me now it's just like, you know, why was I so pissed off? Like, I don't even remember. Like, I remember, but I'm like, why was I so emotional about it? Why did I care so much? But,
Right.
you know, like, we're reactive. We're reactive beings. When it happens, it's emotion.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're more of an analytical being. That reactive stuff is just stuff that you don't need, man. It's like if somebody comes out and you get in and there's an accident out there and the guy's got blood all over and he's sitting there and his arm's broken half. Yeah, it's gross, but you know what? It's your duty to help him.
Right.
Not freak out and run the other way. You know, because if somebody can help him, then I mean, of course it's gross. Of course it's nasty, but you should still be able to help that person. Just like if somebody comes up to you and goes, hey, man, what the, you know, they're reactive. You're not. You're just like, okay, what's up? You can stay in communication. He's going to back off, and he's got all this reactive stuff going on, this crap. It's the same thing. That makes sense?
Oh, yeah.
That was deep.
I was trying to figure out how I get into it. Like, with the guy I didn't even raise my voice, really. I usually, by that time, and I'm like, if I'm pissed enough to punch you, I'm usually yelling. But I noticed that I'm like, hey, like, blah, blah, blah. Then all of a sudden, I'm just like, whoosh, like, you know what I'm saying? Try to sneak a jab, and I'm like, damn. Like, ooh.
Got to get away, man.
Like, I'm not even, you know, I didn't even feel enraged. I was angered, but I wasn't enraged because my voice was just like, and I'm like, hey, man, you know, it was, you know, my tone was, you know, but I wasn't like yelling. You know, people like, the more emotional they get, the more,
yeah, all reactive. Yep.
Like, it makes you hear them better.
I know, right? Yeah, I can hear you better.
Like sending me a text in all caps or something, or Facebook. Like, I've seen people do it like in all caps, and I'm like, are you really yelling? Are you yelling on that message right there? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's
like,
definitely.
Right. So, you know, and don't get me wrong. I mean, you should be able, and you are able, and it's your right to protect yourself. Right? If somebody's just completely coming at you and freaking out.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And you're in your house, right? And you have your babies there and your beautiful wife there, and somebody breaks in as a nut, you're going to come into your house, you have the right now to do what you need to do. Now, you know that, right? I mean, we're not talking about, like, oh, you know, it's all this and roses. No, if that actually goes down, you have the right to protect yourself. And if you didn't, you would be omit by not protecting your family and your children.
Exactly.
You know? And whatever you do to that person in your house and he comes in, that person has to be stopped.
Yeah, and there's some people that have done that, you know, home invasion, and they've killed people, and they feel guilty about it.
Oh, yeah.
And that's, you know, that's got to be tough. Somebody comes in, I wouldn't have any room. I'd be like, dude, you could, because they're going to get some warning before it's like, dude, you need to, you know.
That would be the greater good.
But, like, yeah, if you're crazy coming in your violent, like, goodbye.
Yeah.
Like, you'll be laying there, and I'm going to be calling the meat wagon for you.
And everybody, not just me, Joker, Bird, everybody has that right. If somebody breaks into your house, you have that right to protect yourself.
Or I tell my son.
Darn right you do.
He was getting into some conflicts at school, and there was, I guess this kid was, you know, bigger than him, and he pulled out a plastic knife. Just, you know, the butter knife, plastic.
The bully
Can't
did?
do nothing with it.
Yeah.
But he got expelled for that because they thought it was a, But I've always told him, I'm like, if you feel threatened and you feel physically threatened, I said, do whatever you have to do to get out of that.
Right.
If
You have the
can't
right
talk
to-
to them, if you can't, and they're starting to attack you, I was like, man, do whatever you got to do to get away.
Exactly.
Straight up.
But if you can walk away, walk away.
Yeah, but make sure you glance back so you don't get punched in the back of the head. That's happened to me a couple of times. It's like, man, I'm just wondering. Like, oh, man.
Just back away.
That's just rude.
Yeah. A lot of them don't play fair. I'm sorry, I cut you off, Bird.
Go ahead. You got it.
Go ahead, bud.
No, I was gonna say it's that whole respect thing. Once again, walking away is the smartest thing to do. So
If you can, and sometimes, man, it's tough because that guy had just cut you down to the core. Maybe said something about your beautiful wife or your girlfriend or somebody that you deeply care about. So if me and Bird were walking down the street, and somebody's screaming at Bird, yelling at him, I like Bird. I think Bird's good. It'd be like, Bird, we gotta go. It's hard to swallow that, right?
Yeah.
It is. But that's the best thing to do is just remove yourself from that. If you can't remove yourself from it, then you have every right to protect yourself.
Well, I've had let me see, when was that on? I think it was Wednesday. I'm not going to say where it was at. I'm not going to say who I was with. But they're my bros. But they were acting stupid. Like, they were like this close from going to jail over some dude that wasn't, it's like, the guy it had started with their sister and this guy. They were disrespectful exchanges of words or whatever like that, and something. Okay, blah. So I was talking to the guy because I was standing right there. I was talking to the guy, and I was with one of the homies talking to him, and she came in and was like blah blah blah, mocking him and being disrespectful.
The lady was
Now he did disrespectful stuff to her earlier, but it's like
overt
it's like
motivator. Talk.
tit for tat.
Right,
So
right.
she's going to run in her mouth, and he's like, just run off and get, and that pissed her off.
Mm-hmm.
So she threw her glass at him
Sure, she
and busted him in the face, cut his face. Like he was, at the end of the night when everything was done, somebody got hit in the head with brass knuckles, was bleeding. The other guy was getting pummeled by the time I got one of my guys off him.
It's disgusting,
Yeah,
man.
and it's like,
disgusting.
I literally felt like I saved his life because I think if my dude would have punched him like 3 more times, his fist would have went through his face. Because I don't even know how the guy was standing, but I had to help him back into his car, and I had to tell, because I knew everybody. And I'm like, you need to get him, you need to go, take him in the bar. I'm like a air traffic controller, like just, and it was all over disrespect. It wasn't even a big deal to me. It wasn't even anything to punch somebody over. It would have been like, dude, just shut up, like, and I could have, when she came over and did that, I could have been like, why are you, and then when he said that to her, I could have been like, hold on, man, that's kind of, but for some reason, I was just like, I don't know why. I didn't think she was going to throw a glass at his face, though. And I knew he wasn't going to punch her, but I was omit from bringing any kind of intelligent,
And it's hard to in that situation. They're drunk. They're freaking out over something. She's got all her case. He's got all his case. Now they're and when I say case, they got their own stuff, right? Now you're throwing alcohol on that. Now you're throwing insults on top of that. Come on, man. You're not gonna make any sense out of that. You gotta. How you gonna make it?
This is how when you read on the news and it's like somebody got shot at this bar or at this club, and this is how it starts.
Right.
For real. It's like because
somebody said they had a bad hangnail or
something. I walked around the corner and came back, and there was the guy that came back with the other guy. There was 2 different instances. They were fighting, then it got broke up. They sent the dude on his way. He left by himself. He had come back up there with a buddy of his that I knew too. And when I was walking down the street, I had a straight line of sight down, and I saw his hand behind his back like this with something on. I didn't know if it was a shotgun. I didn't know if it was a pipe. I didn't know, and I had to tell the person, I was like, go across the street. I was like, I got to go down there. So, see, and this is what pisses me off. That guy, he could have had an AK-47 coming back and shot up the whole bar. People are freaking crazy. Like, they are crazy. And they're not stable. They don't think. They're on medication, alcohol, drugs. You don't know what So like people are really, spontaneous in their reactions. You don't know what somebody's gonna do.
Reactive in their spontaneousness. How's that?
Reactive in their spontaneous. I mean, super reactive.
Right.
Nuclear.
Nuclear.
No, what did Bush say? Nuclear.
Nuclear.
No, we got
nuclear bombs.
I wish he was still president. I'd love to make fun of him still.
Oh gosh, that guy. I'm well. Peace to all and all that, but I'm glad he's out.
Yeah. But
imports come from other countries. Really, George? Wow. Thanks, man. I'm sorry. Go off.
The comedy world was like, they were like, damn, what are we going to talk about now?
George Bush. That's what we'll talk about.
This guy's too intelligent. We got to wait for him to screw up before we're not going to have any comedy for him in a while.
But yeah, Joker and Bird, you can really see it. And the only thing that I can say is, man, guys, and they have to do it on their own. You can't make somebody do it. They got to educate themselves. They got to want to get. That whoever started that fight last week has to go, you know what? God, man. The guy got hit in the face with brass knuckles. I hit him in the face with glass. I could have put his eye out. I need to do something, man.
They don't understand that
it's their fault.
I saw a guy,
right?
I'm not even playing.
You didn't do anything.
I saw a dude yesterday, and this is, like, for real. Like, I was like... Because I felt I was within all of my boundaries to demolish this dude. Not that other dude, but it's this other guy. Back when I was, I was in sales, and dude had me robbed. Him and his brother robbed me, and I'd known the dude for like 8 years before that. So I was like, man, when I see this dude, I am knocking him clean. You know what I'm saying? Like straight up. And I had, it's at my boy's. It's his birthday. It's like. That wouldn't be cool. As bad as there's probably only 2 people that I probably couldn't stop myself from launching myself at them if I saw them. And they've all have come at my family or me in a way where it's like, yeah, that's not cool. So we're going to have to handle that. So
yeah, and Joker, I think next week, I think we should go over the tone scale as well.
The tone scale?
The tone scale, absolutely. And you're going to find out what people can do at what certain tones and what communities have certain tones. And you'll be able to tell what the community is capable of and what it's not capable of. But yeah, I've got a little story on the conflict thing, if I can bring that up.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So and this is just, when people speak to you, that tells you the tone level of where they're at, whether they're in antagonism, sarcasm, apathy, which is, well, you might as well do that to me again because there's nothing I can do. That kind of that's apathy, right? And then you have anger, right? And then it goes up, and it goes up, and you go to boredom, right? And then after that, you go into conservatism, and then up to excitement. Anyway, so it goes like that, and you can really tell the tone of somebody by the way that they speak to you. You really can, and we'll go over that next week. It's pretty cool. So last night I had a show, and it was phenomenal. Big major company, Home Instead. They are the most beautiful people. I mean, they work hard. Those are the people that come to your house, that take care of an older person, say your mom.
Oh yeah, my sister used to do that.
Dude, I got goosebumps. They are just phenomenal people. They work hard and they party hard, right? So we're at the CenturyLink Plaza, and one of my all-time favorite bands, 3D in Your Face, was playing, and I was DJing between sets. Now this place was massive. So we're at the CenturyLink Center, right? And huge, big, giant. I mean, this is the biggest 80 parties I've ever seen in my life. Giant screens, phenomenal. So there was another band there in the main hall at the CenturyLink, right? And they were doing a sound check, right? Now not one of my guys, but the bass player for 3D, Sam, and this is a prime example of what one should do. Prime example. And I love Sam for this. And all the guys are beautiful. So Sam's going out to have a cigarette. We just got through setting up, and that a lot of stuff. So he goes out. Well, he takes a wrong turn. And I'm not going to tell you the guy, but I'm going to tell you the guy who he worked for. It was Jason Aldean's sound man, right? The country guy. So when Sam opens the door, he accidentally opens it up when they're doing a sound check. And it wasn't loud at all. Sam just, he opened the door, right? And the sound guy goes, "Get the out of here," like that. Now, there could have been two different ways to approach that.
Right.
Sam didn't know anything. He's like, "Oh God, wow." Sam could have went, "You know what?" And it could have started a whole altercation. But Sam's a beautiful being. He goes, "Sorry," and he goes, "Sorry," shuts the door, and he walks away. And he goes, "Man, that guy, boy." And you know what he said when we came out? We were all out there having a smoke on the roof at the CenturyLink. He comes out and he goes, "That guy just screamed at me, but man, those guys sounded great." That's an uptone individual, man.
Right.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Because
He's better than me.
Right.
see what I'm saying? And that was the way to do that. It's like that's that guy's own crap
Right.
that caused him to yell at that. The guy, whatever consideration he has about himself, about I'm the sound man for Jason Aldean, blah blah blah, or he's got some problem with his wife, or he's got
Right.
some problem with this guy that he just met and he's taking it out on Sam.
Well, his best friend could have just died. He
Best
could have
friend
had
could've
his
just
mom could be in the hospital.
Right.
Like you don't know what somebody's going through at the time, and that's the people I was talking about that are
But that's no excuse for disrespecting somebody else.
right.
I don't care. It's no excuse, man.
Right, because you don't know what nobody's going through. I mean, even though that guy, that sound check guy, could have been going through things, you don't know what Sam, what he was going through at that time.
Yeah.
There's no
Was it-
telling.
if Sam was going through something, it probably would have been. See, and that's where those.
that conflict. Yep.
Right,
Yep.
but that is the guy who's the bigger being.
Right.
Even though he's got some stuff going down, he can go, "Ooh, okay, I'm going to just walk away from that one."
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the sound guy had no right to talk to him like that. But Sam was beautiful and handled it very well. That whole band, it's a class act. 3D, I love them. They're great guys.
All right, I'm gonna wrap up this session, but I got a story too. I thought it was the most awesome thing I ever heard or see on Facebook. I shared it, and I had to be like, "Pardon my French, but this is effing awesome." Like, you have to read this story. It's about this kid that had an anger problem. So every time he lost his temper, his dad had a brand new fence out in the back, and he told the kid, he's like, "Every time you lose your temper, you got to you hammer some nails in that fence." So the first time he got pissed off, he nailed like 34 nails in the fence, and he was mad. And so eventually, as months go on, he learns to control fewer nails a week or whatever, but he figures out that it's easier to hold his temper than to go hammer nails. And so eventually he stops losing his temper altogether, and he's like, "Dad, I haven't lost my temper in 2 weeks." He was like, "Well, for every week that you don't lose your temper, pull a nail out." So he does that, and months go by because he had so many nails in there. So he gets down to the last nail, and he pulls it out, and he gets his dad, and he's like, "Dad, no more nails." His dad's like, "Look at the fence, though." He said, "Those scars from your anger are permanent. They can never heal." He was like, "You remember that when you lose your temper, that you're going to leave permanent scars in your life that you can never recover from. They're scars." And I thought that was the coolest thing. I was like, dude, that's awesome. Whoever, that story.
That's beautiful.
That is beautiful. I
It
was
really
like, I mean.
because it speaks truth.
All right.
But, yeah. So check that out if you haven't. It's on my Facebook, Joker Vendetti. And make sure you like Vendetti's Block on Facebook. Check out Bird, E.O.M.
Elements of music.
Elements of Music.
Right
and check
on,
out
sir.
Steve Lindzy. If you got some stuff going on, come see my boy Steve. He'll get it off you. What did I call it? Laundromat for the
Muddied soul.
Laundromat for the muddied soul.
Yeah, definitely we can do it too, guys. And peace and love, man. I mean that's what's up, guys. That's the deal, for sure.
All right. And I want to publicly apologize for taking a jab at the guy last night. I shouldn't
Well
have done
done.
that. I shouldn't
Well
have
done,
done that.
baby. Attaboy.
It wasn't, but
It's good.
I am Joker Vendetti. If you know Joker Vendetti, it's like,
No excuse.
it's hard to be me. It's hard to be me, man. This is hard. This is hard. No, there's no excuse. It's like we just need to take responsibility for what we do and acknowledge when we do wrong stuff, and don't be scared to apologize. Don't be, that's one of the biggest things is being able to apologize and accept somebody's apology. Right. Well, one more quick story because this blew my mind last night because we had so much fun. Like, I was wasted. Like, we got it in for bro's birthday. I don't even remember. But, okay, I grew up in this neighborhood down here, and there's a couple of cats that we don't really, they're just not on our level with how we raise our kids and how we just our demeanor, period, whatever. But my bro that lost his mom, he wanted to go, we wanted to take a little, hood stroll. So I was like, you want to stop over at his house or whatever? And he's like, yeah, we can. And so we did, and he knocks on the door. He's like, who is it? He tells him who it is, and opens the door. He's got his sons in there, and some of his sons play. He's playing a video game, like this. And my friend's like, yeah, my mom just passed. I just wanted to come by and see, I just wanted, And dude's just still playing the video game. And it's like, I wanted to strangle him. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, how, you got to be a real piece of crap to sit there, even if you, like somebody, if you're like, yeah, they're like that cool with me. But I mean, if somebody's just telling you that their mom died, and they're like, because he's a straight mama's boy. When his mom goes, he's going to be balling all over the place. And it's like he showed no kind of sympathy or anything towards his situation. And I was like, no wonder we don't hang around this clown anymore. Exactly. And I was fine with it.
Was he numb or just not caring?
He's just not caring. He's not that kind of guy. He's not a stand-up guy.
So it's an I don't give up.
It's, yeah. And it's one of those guys. I used to have a thing with, and I'm like, I wanted to still be tight with everybody I grew up with. Right. But just because you know somebody your whole life doesn't make them good people.
That's true.
So if they're not good people, just leave them alone. Let them miss you. If they want to come back around, leave the door open. But if not, just, hey.
Yeah, no being is allowed to bring another one down. And if the people that you're hanging out with bring you down, then you know not to hang out with them.
Right. That's true. So I keep that circle small.
Yeah. And there are some really big circles out there of great people. There are, and you just got to get in that vein of them, man. Mm-hmm. People that want to enhance you. Remember we were talking about the 3 methods of control? So we've got, enhancement, invalidation, domination. Remember those 3 methods?
Yeah.
Okay. So you want to get around the people that enhance you. Man, Joe, you got a nice little radio program going on. Keep rolling. Might get big one day. You never know.
Right.
Your music is awesome. Thank you. Yeah, baby. So like that, Instead of hanging around people that, try to dominate you with a, talking about fighting all the time or with a gun or whatever like that. No, man. Get around the people that enhance you. That's what's up.
Exactly.
Get enhanced, people.
So that's what's up.
Yes.
All right. Love, citizens. I will check you guys out next week. We're going to be picking it back up. I think we need to get more into conflict is a huge...
Yeah, that's a major one, and we got way off subject today. Got into some stories.
It was still fun.
That was fun.
It was still fun. It was still informative, entertaining, and on the edge.
Yes.
Right on
the edge. Wearing skinny jeans.
No, are you really?
Hell no. You should have known. This man is assassinating my character. I want to give a shout out P Squared Media, the Omaha Hip Hop Awards.
Yes.
Coming up this summer. You guys want to go to psquaredmedia.com or lgenius.com and get your tickets. They are on, I think they're they're $10 for the regular, was 15 for the VIP. Yeah.
Where's the show at?
So it's at the prestigious DC Center on 120th in Maple.
I know where that's at.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Done shows up
there. So
yeah,
you can go to lgenius.com, psquaredmedia.com. Check it out. There's some really good nominees up. I've known a lot of these artists for a long time. They're really talented, and despite what people think about the awards, it's new and nothing's ever perfect, but it's recognizing talent and it's giving people, it's positive. So
that's what you want.
I'm just going to leave it at that. It's, so let's keep the positivity cracking, citizens. Right. I'm going to roll out of here, and I'm going to see y'all and let y'all hear me next week, church.
bus and this trust, believe it. Thinking we don't see it, making us seasick. Brutality from east to west, check the thesis. Liberate everything from Libya to Egypt, all across the Middle East up to England. Anonymous people on the web steady tweeting, thinking I don't see them, nigga I be them. Preaching all gas from mountain deserts and seas. This is a different season, nowhere near treason. I'm a rebel alien, that's why I keep speaking. I know they're getting over it and it's only cause you sleeping. No more cold shoulder, it's warm when we beating. All you gotta do is follow L to the G.
We need to band together instead of being on some other shit. Citizens are just aiming pointed at your government. I'm a rebel alien, climb aboard the mothership.
I'm a rebel alien, climb aboard the mothership.
Band together instead of being on some other shit. Citizens are just aiming pointed at your government. I'm a rebel alien, climb aboard the mothership.
I'm a rebel alien, climb aboard the mothership.
We need to fall in the ranks so we can set it in motion. Soldier recruitment is steady due to effective promotion. Our future dependence relies on active resistance against the superintendent and minions placed in position. A stable citizen movement, producing change and improvement inside a system designed to keep us blind, deaf, and losing. We need to better ourselves, reassess our devotion to bring what's never been made. Changes in epic proportions. We need to get on the ball and take our hands off the wall. Place a gat in our palms and let it blast the cause before they realize what happened. Trapped by that future assassin. It'll be too late for reaction. For crypto citizen capping. A revolution is cracking. Just call me Joker Vendetti. Cause the enemy's here. They're blinding our focus with fear. But I ain't fearing no demons and devils licensed to see it. So I don't hear it to scream like I ain't seeing them heathens. We need to band together instead of being on some other shit. Citizens are just aiming pointed at your government. I'm a rebel alien. Climb aboard the mothership.
I'm a rebel alien, climb aboard the mothership.
The band together instead of being on some other shit. Citizens are just aiming pointed at your government. I'm a rebel alien. Climb aboard the mothership.
I'm a rebel alien, climb aboard the mothership.
You have thus far waged unjust wars, one time and another. You have brandished mad weapons to your mutual destruction for no other reason than ignorance and pride, as a result of which you have deserved eternal death and sure damnation. Now we are engaged in a new revolution. A new world revolution testing whether this government or any government conceived so long can endure. We are met on a great battlefield of war. We shall go on to the end, we shall fight on the wire, we shall fight in the seas, the oceans, we shall fight with growing confidence, we shall fight in the fields, we shall fight in the streets, fight in the hills, the air, whatever the cost may be, we shall never surrender. We are anonymous.
We do not forget.